So you want to know how the infrastructure bill that was recently passed by Congress and signed into law by President Biden affects the crypto space. Okay, in today's video, I'm going to discuss with you the main provisions that you want to know about as a crypto trader. And later on, I'm going to be giving tips and information, legal information about how to minimize your chances of losing your money in the crypto space. So you want to stick around until the end of the video. My name is Mehdi Cherkawi. I'm a civil litigation attorney in Houston, Texas. My channel provides general legal and litigation information to the public. So if you want to be a citizen that's well educated about your rights and obligations under the law in all aspects of life, hit the subscribe button. If you like the content of this video, hit the thumbs up button so others can benefit. And let's get to it. Okay, before I dive into the law, let me give you my 2 cents. As a crypto investor myself, I love the crypto space. I think it provides a tremendous potential and presents opportunities for everyday individuals to invest in some groundbreaking technologies. I believe that the blockchain is here to stay, is going to revolutionize the way we transact globally and revolutionize the financial system altogether. What I can't believe is that for the past 11 years, there has not been any substantial piece of legislation that provides some minimum regulatory framework to control or regulate the crypto space. Now, before all of you leave me some derogatory comments in the comment section, let me say this. I'm not about over-regulating any industry. I believe in a free market and I believe in capitalism. However, if you leave an industry like the crypto industry unchecked, what's going to happen is that a lot of people are going to be losing money and a lot of financial predators are going to prey on the unsuspecting and the inexperienced and steal their money. And there's going to be this transfer of wealth from individuals basically losing their hard-earned money, losing it to financial scammers and companies that basically cannot be regulated. And even if they do commit this scam or this fraud, no one can reach them legally to hold them accountable. Regulation typically provides 3 major benefits. The first is to protect the rights of the investor, to protect the rights of these unsuspecting and experienced investors so they're not losing money to scam projects. And we know we've heard our shares of scam projects. The second benefit of such regulation is that it's going to deter and provide some kind of proscribed conduct that is not going to be tolerated by the US government. So it's going to provide some kind of conduct that is not allowed, and if someone would commit that kind of conduct, they would be prosecuted and punished for it. The third benefit of this regulation, and some of you may not call it a benefit, but it provides a way for Uncle Sam to get their share of the profit. Now we can debate about how much taxes one should pay on their capital gains and their crypto profits. I'm not here to debate that, but we all should agree that some type of tax should be implemented on crypto profits if we believe that the government has to fund certain services and basic services for us, for US citizens to live in this country. So as long as there is regulation that provides these 3 elements, that it's not overbearing on the market, that I am all for it and everybody should support it. Okay, so the first provision that you want to know about that's included in the infrastructure bill is that it amends 26 USC section 6050I. Section 6050I requires businesses that receive cash payments in the amount of $10,000 or more to collect certain data from the individual that's making the deposit or the transfer, and to report it to the IRS by filling out Form 8300. What this act does is that it includes cryptocurrency in the definition of cash or other untraceable instruments. So this law already existed in the books, and it was used primarily for anti-money laundering purposes and to fight the funding of terrorism. So what this infrastructure bill does is that it expands the definition of untraceable instruments that used to be cash, cashier's checks, and money orders, and adds cryptocurrency to it. So next time you have a transaction in cryptocurrency of $10,000 or more, or perhaps you want to buy a car or a watch or whatever else that costs $10,000 or more, then the merchant or the bank is required by law to alert the IRS of this transaction and report it by filling out Form 8300. The second provision that you want to know about that's in this bill is that it expands the definition of what a broker is. So the language in the bill says that any person who, for consideration, is responsible for regularly providing any service, effectuating transfers of digital assets on behalf of another person. That's a lot of legal jargon that basically means that if you facilitate any service that facilitates the transfer of cryptocurrency, then you are technically considered a broker. But one may think that this provision or this language is so broad that it literally covers everybody. Whether you are dealing in cryptocurrency or NFT or any kind of digital token, or you are an exchange, or you are selling cryptocurrency. For example, you look at Coinbase. Coinbase is a broker because it owns the cryptocurrency that is selling to you. So when you go buy from Coinbase, you're buying it from the seller itself, and that is Coinbase. As opposed to Coinbase Pro, which is an exchange, and the main function of this exchange is to match a buyer and a seller. That's why the rates are typically cheaper with Coinbase Pro. Same goes for Robinhood. Robinhood is a broker in that it owns the securities that it sells. And it's not an exchange. It actually is the seller of these securities. So this bill expands the definition of what a broker is, and as far as I'm concerned, in my opinion, I think the language is too broad and it has to be defined either through an amendment or some other bill down the line. The third provision that I think you should know about that's in the infrastructure bill, and I think it's the most important one, is the obligation of every exchange that is US based to report the transactions and to the IRS, and reporting either a gain or a loss by filling out Form 1099-B and sending you a copy at the end of the year and sending the IRS the same copy. So what this provision does is that it basically requires every US-based currency exchange or broker to file Form 1099-B with the IRS and send you a copy. So all the transactions that you are making throughout the year are going to be recorded and reported to the IRS, so that the IRS can know and get information about any gains or losses that you've made. Obviously, the purpose of this is for you to pay your taxes on these gains, and these gains are going to be based on the same capital gains, whether they're short-term that are taxed higher than long-term capital gains. But the purpose of this is to report to the IRS any crypto profits that you've made or losses as well that you made in any particular calendar or financial year. Now, a lot of people are going to argue that this particular provision exposes them to greater liability and defeats the purpose of the so-called privacy that crypto exchanges and crypto transactions offer. Well, I'm not sure where some people understood that cryptocurrency transactions are private. I'm here to tell you that cryptocurrency transactions are some of the most transparent and well-documented transactions of any financial instrument that we've ever used in history. You look at, for example, a wire transfer. You know who's sending, you know the amount, and you know the financial institution that is initiating the wire and the financial institution that is receiving the wire, and you also know the name of the recipient. Same thing goes for a crypto transaction. The only difference is the identity of the sender and the receiver are not known. But any of you that has ever sent Ethereum or the Binance token over the Ethereum network or the BNB network, you know that transaction is well documented and anybody has access to that ledger on either Etherscan or BSC scan. Finally, the other provision that I think it's important is that in the bill there is language that would allow the Department of Justice to prosecute anyone that initiates a pump and dump scam. In other words, there will be regulation to govern how to issue a token and what process or steps you need to take before a developer can launch a token and sell it to the public. In my opinion, this targets the YouTubers that usually pump a new project. They're being contacted by companies and projects and developers that are launching some new token, and they want to pump it through this influencer and make sure that their followers are investing in it. If you are one of those influencers, I caution you to be very careful. And by the way, the disclaimer that you put in the beginning of a video that says you're not a financial advisor, that's not some type of immunity against prosecution. The law is very clear in this bill, and the language is also clear. If you are participating and promoting knowingly a project that is a scam or that is a pump and dump, then you can be held liable and you can be prosecuted, and some of the punishment can range from a fine all the way to 5 years in jail. So be careful on what you are telling people, encouraging people to buy. And let me say this. We all know that nobody does anything for free. There's always a motivation. There's always a reason for anyone to do something. So when you have a YouTuber telling you about this new pump and dump project, but they're saying, hey, I'm not telling you to buy it, wink, wink. Well, we know what that means. You know, we know that the disclaimer is out there to potentially protect the YouTuber from making any kind of liability. But at the end of the day, they are telling you indirectly to invest in it. So ask yourself, why is this YouTuber saying that? Why are they asking me to invest? And usually it's one of two things. Either they are personally invested in this coin and they have a large followers that they hope are going to put their money into this coin to pump the price so they can sell it and profit, or they're doing it for the YouTube views. They may not even actually invested in this coin. They may be doing it just to get the YouTube views, and you, the viewer, ends up getting stuck with a worthless token. So be careful, be skeptical, and understand that everybody that you see on TV or on YouTube is doing something for a particular purpose. Okay, so my tips to safely trade crypto and engage in the cryptocurrency world is to, number one, pick a US-based exchange. A US-based exchange is going to be an exchange that is registered with United States authorities. It is available and present in the United States, and at least should there be a problem, a scam, some kind of violation, it'll be subject to regulations by the SEC, and also it'll be subject to jurisdiction of federal and state courts here in the United States. When you put your assets with a foreign exchange, for example, KuCoin. KuCoin is not an exchange that's based in the United States. You have exchanges that are based in China or based in Eastern Europe. If something goes wrong, there is literally nothing that you can do. It's already bad enough that even these US-based exchange services don't even have a phone number to call. I mean, that sometimes annoys me tremendously. You look at stock market exchanges like E-Trade, Fidelity, Charles Schwab. They all have a customer service number that you can call and talk to a live person that can perhaps walk you through how to make a trade, or if there is an issue with your account. Services like CoinPro and Robinhood, they don't even have a phone number for you to call. It's all via email. So to me, that's already unnerving enough. But when you deal with a service that's not even in the United States, if they decide to shut down overnight, they decide to take your money and scam you, there is absolutely nothing you can do. So to safely engage in the trading of cryptocurrency, I highly urge you to pick a US-based exchange to trust them with your assets. Another tip that can provide you is don't leave all your eggs into one basket. Don't trust one service and deposit all of your assets in that one service. Perhaps pick a couple of services, like you can use BlockFi and you can use CoinPro. Perhaps you can use BlockFi and Coinbase. So you can split your assets between these two services. So if one of them shuts down or if there's a problem with one, at least you don't lose all of your assets. My third tip is that do your research about the project and invest in something that has some functionality. Now, if you want to put a couple of dollars in in some kind of a dog meme coin or anything else that you think is going to go to the moon, and that's fine. Invest something that is, I'm not even saying invest something you afford to lose. I'm talking about throw in some very minimal amount based on your net worth and your level of income. Some very negligible amount to play with and consider it lost. But if you really want to invest in something that you feel is going to explode in value, then at least do your homework and look for these projects that have a purpose, that will serve a purpose in the future. And there is a development team behind it. And these development teams are identifiable. You know who they are by name. You look at their experience, you look at their faces. Again, this is just about looking for someone to go after should there be a rug pull, should there be a scam. People and developers that have a good experience and identify themselves by name and photo and resume, they are less likely to be engaging in a scam and take away your money because they know that they can be identified in a lawsuit or even potentially a prosecution by the government. I hope you benefited from today's video. I ask you to subscribe if you want more content. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Hit the like button and I'll see you on the next one.